Right. So today our topic, in our previous class, we talked about the Power Apps components, how to lay them down, and of course, I am still using the same application. I mean, if you were if you were part of our previous class, you would have seen how we created the components and then also made use of them in our applications and be able to reuse them in the various screen. So today I'm making use of the same application to continue this class, and we are going to be talking about troubleshooting a Canvas application. When it comes to troubleshooting, there's a whole lot of things that can come to your mind. I mean, it could be a simple error that you're experiencing. It could be a lot of things. I mean, your app can also be performing really well, but there are a few warnings. All right, all those things are part of the things that we need to take into. But the basic part is understanding what you need for your troubleshooting before you look out for the problem. Now, looking out for the problem is a whole lot of things because they are at a different level. The problems can vary depending on what you are doing, or maybe depending on the type of control that you have brought into your application. Okay, we have these controls here. We have the test, we have the form control, test input, the gallery, rectangle. We have a whole lot of them. We have the icons. Now, the values that you try to display with them, or maybe you try to output or input to and with them, could give you either a direct issue or an indirect issue. Sometimes they just go out straight. But understanding where the problem originates is one of the key things that you need to know before you be able to troubleshoot or maybe find a solution. And for you to troubleshoot, there are various things that is all available for you. One of them is what we call the app monitor. Yeah, we can easily find them here. When you go to the advanced tool by the left side, you will see what we call the app monitor. Yeah, we have a test case. This is a whole lot of something different. We are going to be dealing with that maybe in one of the sessions in the future to talk about creating tests that you can also use to, monitor and then make sure that your application is either secure or passes the right information, etc. Okay, but today, monitor is one of the things that we're going to be dealing with. Now, monitor allows you to take logs of what is happening in your application, the events that is going on within your application. Now, these events, the events that we relate to, if you, for some of us who are developers, or maybe you use JavaScript, events that play out when you click a button, you open a page, you perform an action. I mean, all those kind of events. Yes, Power Apps also listens to all those kind of events. All right. Now, but the monitor tool, when you open it, allows you to be able to listen to all the events that is happening in your application. Now, you can see that when I open this here, it's just going to be an empty screen. It gives you an ID, time, category, operation, result, etc. Okay, and this is going to just populate in form of a table. And you have the option to download this. So if you have someone, I mean, like if you are a really good troubleshooter, I mean, you know how to troubleshoot Canvas application, someone can do this anywhere else, export it or download it and send it to you, either via email, an attachment, share it with you however they can. And all you have to do is upload it here. And then you can read the data and understand what is actually going on or what went wrong at every event that has happened in the previous log that was shared with you, or in the log that the previous person shared with you. So now that we have this open, I will go back to my application and then I'm going to play it. Simple clicks here and here and here. I just did 3 clicks. I mean, but we most likely generated more than 3 events. If I go back to this, I'm going to see that we have 4 events because all of them are clicks. Now, the first is I selected the control called title. If you notice, I clicked here. This is the title. The issue 1 is title, issue 2 is title, saving my OneNote file is a title. Now, everything below is a subtitle. If I click this, it's going to be a subtitle, and I'm going to click maybe this saving my OneNote. It's going to be a subtitle, right? Okay, and if I go back here, you will see that I clicked on the subtitle. Now, on my second clicks, second, third, and fourth clicks, I clicked on the next arrow icon. So if I go back to my application, this is a next arrow icon. So I'm going to exit this, and then I can touch it to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the name. It's called next arrow. Now, if I change this and then call it my arrow, okay, the name is going to be my arrow, and I play this application and I click that again. When I go here, I will see that it is my arrow. Oh, that's what a spelling. All right, please apologies, don't mind that spelling, but you will see that the new name I gave it is what comes. So when you're troubleshooting your application, first of all, you have to understand the control. You have to know the control where the issue is occurring. So when you select the control and then you go to your log, you will be able to come to the log and trace what is actually happening. If I select this, of course, you will see the timestamp. The category of the issue is the user action, and then the operation is that I selected. So the operation that I did is selecting. What was the result? Is successful. If it failed, of course, you will see here. Now, let me give you an instance of the one that will fail. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the application, make it here, and then I would go to the unselect property of this button, and then close it, and then set something, set me, or not set me, or excuse me, yeah, set var me to this item. And this is all. I mean, of course, we see an error here, right? But sometimes you most likely may not understand why the error is coming, and I'm going to play this application, and I will click the button. If I go to this part, okay, it seems successful. Now just hold on a little bit. Let's go back to it, and then I'm going to show you. Come back here. Okay, edit one more time. Remove this, save this, and edit one more time. Let's see. Put it out. Maybe let's take this out entirely. Save, set. I'm gonna put something here that's really actually gonna cause a problem. I mean, what am I going to put? Anything that can cause a problem, because this doesn't seem to. Okay, one moment, let's check. It doesn't cause a problem. Okay, not a problem. We'll come back to something that causes a problem. Maybe I'm gonna figure out what that could be. Could be a calculation or anything. It's gonna fail. Okay. Yep. But the understanding is you need to know what you click and be able to trace it to the time and also to the control. The result is what tells you if they are successful or not. Now, unfortunately, we are unable to produce a failed result, but maybe I'm going to produce that as we proceed. If I click on this, by the right side, you will see the details of the action performed in the control that you have selected. Now, this action gives you a detail or an overview of what transpired. If the status information is returned, the duration is returned, data source that you are trying to connect to, of course, is going to come here. Of course, at this time, you see that it's null because we are not trying to connect to any data source. The response size is going to be here. Control name, you see our control name is my AOO. I'm going to change that name so that we maybe call it something. And the property name is the onSelect. So the onSelect function is what happened, what actually triggered the event. There are other properties like the onChange, onVisible. Those are events. OnHide, onSuccess. OnSuccess actually comes in a form. So the onVisible and the onHide comes to the screen. OnChange functions high comes to the input control, a button, No, button actually doesn't have unchange. Buttons have unselect, but unchange comes for toggles and checkboxes. So inputs and drop down boxes, combo boxes, those have the unchanged events. So the properties, the property type that you select would show here. The node ID will come here, formula data would come here. So you will see that this is the formula in my onSelect function. Even though it is not complete, it seemed to have been successful. I mean, I don't know why that happens. Maybe it should be successful, or maybe it shouldn't have thrown an error in the monitor, but must give you the log of what went wrong. But inside the application filter, it will give you that this is an error. Okay, we have the span start, of course, should give you the time when this started and the time when this end for span end. And this information gives you the data of the entire property. So the context of what gives you this information is going to be inside the data. If I select another function, we're going to see a whole lot of different information. Okay, now the reason we are not seeing a whole lot of things, I mean, quite some lot of different things here is because we are not performing a lot of action. If I go back to my application and then say for this action, let me say I'm going to, for example, okay, select this item and then I perform something. So I'm going to select this item and then I'm going to insert some maybe a gallery, right? Gallery should be fine. Let me use the gallery again. And I'm going to bring this gallery here and then delete all this information. And for me to delete all the information, the first thing I need to do is select the gallery. And then I come to the layout part of the gallery and then make it blank. So when I make it blank, it takes away every single thing that is inside of it. And I can add or remove, I mean, based on what I feel or what I want the view to look like. I can either customize to look like what I want it to be. So I can insert a test label here, and then maybe another test label just because I want to display information. Okay, and then I'm going to insert more like a test input. Okay, this test input is because I want to add some data. And because I'm making a select, this is definitely going to be a one item. So for it to be a one item, I'm going to select this this gallery again and go to its items property. So this is the property. I mean, talking about the property, this is something that we have discussed in the past, showing you what the property of a canvas app looks like. Maybe we will also revisit this to discuss more about the properties again. Okay, we have a whole lot of properties here. In the items property, I'm going to provide the new variable that I created, which is the var me. All right, you will see it here. And this should provide the information that we need inside this place. And I'm going to provide the title on this part. So this is going to represent our title. And if the title doesn't have any information, of course, it's going to be empty. So this is going to be issue description. I want to make it a little bigger. And I just want to figure out what we can put here. Okay. Okay. For us to figure out what we can put here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our SharePoint list. Of course, I'm connecting this to a SharePoint list and open it. And then I'm going to insert, maybe add a column that we're going to use. So it's going to be test input. Yes. So whatever way you want to update, I'm going to put it here. So call it update test. And then I'm going to save it. All right, and then for me to have this updated in my application, I have to reload this. So refreshing this part just does the magic. So I don't have to do a whole lot of other things. So I'm going to come here and then call this this item dot it's gonna be update, right? That's the one we selected. So it's gonna be here. So I'm going to save this, and then I will insert a button. So we are going to add a button outside here. This button is going to help us to update this information. So this button comes here, and inside this place, we're going to say patch our SharePoint list, and the SharePoint list name is issue tracker. So maybe I'm going to do a default at this time, and much later we can also talk about maybe in a different video we'll talk about the reason why we should have a default, and then sometimes when we shouldn't have a default, maybe if we have a different way to write this. Okay, if you want to format this, of course, I'm going to do here. But I mean, in a different video, we'll talk about a lot more about how this is going to be. But today, we concentrate our attention in the troubleshooting of what transpires in your application when it goes wrong and when things go right, and how you want best practices. Now, I want to update only this. I don't want to update everything. Okay, so for me to be able to update everything, I can do one thing. Either I do by the ID of the selected item. So I can say var my, first of all, come here. I can do, okay, now, apologies. I want to explain a little bit of what's going to go here, what is going to go on wrong here, and then what we should do. Now, first of all, what is going to go wrong here is that the moment I patch this, it's going to create a new record for us. Okay, I mean, I hope you guys understand this, but the moment I do a patch here, for example, I'm going to say, what's the name of that? Update. Now, update is what I'm putting here. And then I'm going to bring in this item here, and this is test input. Come back to this error message, update that value. And then I'm going to call it test. Yeah, so the moment I patch this, it's going to create another record, and let me show you why. The reason this is going to create another record is because it's not making a reference to an item that has already been created so that it can update it. And if you look into my SharePoint list here, I have a total number of 17 items, and you can see all of them. Okay, and if I go back to my application and then hold down my Alt key and click on this button, it's going to make a patch, and the patch is going to be an empty one. And if I go back to my SharePoint list and then reload this page, I will have an empty record somewhere here, either at the top or below. So you can see that now this is the new record. It's empty. Yeah, but we don't want to create a new record. So this is one of the things you have to look out for. Okay, you don't want to create a new record. So whenever you have a button like this, all you have to watch out for is make an update. Now, to make an update, you have a couple of options. I think about 3 of them. Now, the first is remove the default here and then apply a lookup. So you can apply a lookup for in issue tracker. Okay, in the issue tracker, excuse me, where the ID is equal to var me.id. And once you get this, update whatever you have inside this place. Okay. Now, there is a whole lot of things that we can do to make sure that the buttons doesn't appear when an item is not selected, but that is something that we can discuss on a different class. So if I select an item here, say this first one, or maybe say second one, let's play this. Okay, so I'm gonna play this now, and then I select this item, and inside my, I can't even click here. One moment, please. I can't even look at these items. Just a moment, please. Okay. How can I make this visible? One moment. Where is my border? Where is my border? Where is my border? Okay, my border is actually active. Okay, good. But something is actually off. And my this is edit. Of course, this is fantastic, should be fine.